Welcome to today's session on Immersive Reader in Microsoft Word. Today we're going to learn how to use Immersive Reader, which is Microsoft's accessibility tool, to have text read out loud to students, to change the font size and color, to highlight parts of speech, and to change the written and spoken language of the text. Now, there are three categories when you're in an Immersive Reader. There are text preferences, which is identified by the A, which helps to change the size of the font, the spacing between words, the font style, and the background color themes. Also, the second section is called grammar options. So it's a magic wand with a little bit of lines here, and this will enable students to be able to look for syllables and words, also to look at parts of speech. So if you're working on building sentences, you can identify where the nouns and the verbs are. And then the final section is called Reading Preferences, and it is identified by a little book. This is where you can use a line focus tool to narrow down the reading, area, as well as the picture dictionary, which uses Boardmaker's images to show the meaning of words, and then the ability to translate both by word or by the whole document. So we are going to take a look at what this looks like. Let's pull over a Microsoft Word document. So whether you're online or you're in the desktop version, you can use Immersive Reader. So here is a Word doc, and I am going to have this read aloud to me. So I'm going to come up in my ribbon here where you see Home, and I'm going to go to View. Inside of the View tab, you are going to see Immersive Reader right here. So when I select this Immersive Reader, it is going to pull up the Immersive Reader, and I'm going to have options to be able to do my text preferences, my grammar options, and my reading preferences as we saw in that table. So first thing is I can have this text read aloud to me.
Winter Wonders, exploring the
You can change the speed of it by selecting this toggle and moving it. You can also choose a voice selection whether it is female or male. You can then go into text preferences. You can change the size of the font. You can increase or decrease spacing between words. You can turn on a different font style. You have three options to choose from. And you can also choose a different color of background to support visual, visibility of the text. From there, the second section is called grammar options. So if I select grammar options, I have the ability to do my syllables. I can also turn on my nouns and my verbs. You'll notice that they appear in different colors. I can also show the label so that an N appears above the nouns and a V above the verbs. Now, once I have that done as well, I can now go into my reading preferences. This is where I can use my line focus tool to narrow it down. I can also use my picture dictionary. So here it is automatically defaulted on, and all that I need to do is simply select a word, and pictures will show up. Along with the pictures is the word and the ability to
cold.
select. I can then go down to choosing a language, and I can choose a language to translate this into. And I'm just going to have the by word. Now, when I select the word, it is going to show up in English,
Winter,
also in French,
l'hiver.
and I'm going to have a picture that is going to help to build that understanding. You can also choose to have this um, translated by the whole document. So I can have the whole thing translated into French, and now I can have it read back to me in French.
Merveille d'hiver, explorer la saison la plus froide.
Now remember, you can change the speed, but also if this toggle down here is not highlighted and it's kind of like a gray color, then that means that they don't have the voice programmed into it. I am going to go back to my original language and back into this reading preferences. You'll also notice that they have built Reading Coach into this. And this is a really cool tool because Reading Coach allows you to select this microphone here and start to read the text. You can use it in multiple languages. It will pull out the words that you had difficulties with, and it will provide some additional practice with those words. So a really neat little addition that Immersive Reader has added to this. And so, with that, knowing that a couple things to keep in mind when you're using it with Microsoft is that it can be accessed on both the desktop and the mobile and the web versions, as I had talked earlier. And you'll want to ensure that you have that text properly formatted to allow Immersive Reader to work or function the most effectively. You'll notice if you've watched all three of these videos that in the Word, it is definitely a lot easier to read than it is in the Discovery Ed or the Lumio platforms, but it is still there to help students access text. So, on that note, have a wonderful day and thank you so much for joining us in this tutorial.